Mason Mount.
So Chelsea coming in with a 3-1 deficit, pulling 1 goal back. It's now 2-3 on aggregate. Chelsea leading by 1-0. Mason Mount getting the strike. In the Bayern Munich Villareal fixture, no goals there, so Villareal still holding on to the 1-0 advantage they've got. But a very purposeful performance by Chelsea in the first half. They still have more work to do against the most prolific team in UEFA Champions League history. We go to break, back with a half-time story after this. This is the home of champions coverage of the UEFA Champions League. We are in quarter-final action and we're in the second leg. And Real Madrid and Villareal started the day leaders. They are still leaders, but Real Madrid not by the margin that they had earlier on. Chelsea getting a goal. Chelsea leading there 1-0 at Real Madrid, and so trail 2-3 on aggregate in the quarter-final playoff. And Villareal and Bayern Munich are 0-0 at the moment, which means that Villareal still holds on to the 1-0 aggregate advantage. So that's where we go to Germany to see what has happened there.
One of the great upsets if Villareal knock out Bayern, but they knocked out Juventus.
Absolutely, Steve. I was just about to say they did a fantastic job.
Coman. Lewandowski looking for room in the middle, and Dani Parejo's clearance, well, that fell kindly. Kimmich with the delivery, it really dipped and swerved on the edge of that 6-yard box. Sané, Goretzka, oh, good save! Back to Dani Parejo. 3 minutes were indicated, 3 have been played. That's a lovely ball. Gerard Moreno's side netting.
Yes, so 30 seconds of highlights there of the 0-0 scoreline at the moment between Villareal and Bayern Munich. A lot of that, George, we saw play in the defensive third for Villareal, 9 or 10 players most of the times. So the story there is pretty clear. Villareal intent on holding on to the lead they've got.
Yeah, 58% possession, and they really control the key stats. But the most key of all stats, 0-0 still on the scoreline.
Yeah. How about the Real Madrid-Chelsea fixture? Chelsea needing to get into the game here, and pretty early in the first half, Mason Mount on target from the edge of the box.
Started very well, Chelsea. It was good pace in the game, not tear away, because they knew they had at least 90 minutes to find their way back into the game. So they started at a measured pace and they looked to monopolize possession. This was a very, very good build-up, and Mason Mount with a true finish and put them deservedly ahead. Vinicius Jr. racing away here, but he didn't have the help he needed. His help was behind him, and so you saw Benzema there asking, well, what kind of pass was that? I wasn't in that position. You should have waited for me. The Brazilian making a rash decision. Here he is again against Reece James, who defended very well. It went to Benzema, and but for the deflection, Lance, that would have been a shot on target. Yeah. That would have required a save from Mendy.
Yeah, well, to say that Chelsea have been the more purposeful of the two teams is like saying the sky is blue or water is wet, because they needed to be, and they were.
Yes. Real Madrid's approach to the game has been to be circumspect. They have the lead, so they say, okay, you want to break us down, come. Their outlet ball, of course, is two passes. Valverde on the right and Vinicius Jr. on the left. Vinicius Jr. is the man they go to mostly. But their approach is understandable, and any sensible coach would have set up his team to play that way, conservative in the first half. Chelsea, on the other hand, have been measured. They've not gone hell for leather, Lance, because, again, as I noted just now, they know that they have a whole 90 minutes to work themselves back in the game. It is very good for Chelsea thus far, because halfway through the game, they've done half the job, which is to keep a clean sheet, get a goal. If they can keep a clean sheet and get another goal in the second half, we're going to extra time.
Yeah, Timo Werner was given the start here, George, a player that we have looked at for a couple of years now, and quite frankly, we think he's a little below the top level as far as his skill set.
A touch below.
Yeah, but there's something about his game. He assisted on the Mason Mount goal just now. His work rate is high, his energy level is high. He's a nagging kind of attacking player who just pressures, and ends up being involved in a lot of goals that Chelsea scores.
And the thing about Timo Werner, why he was bought at such great expense by Chelsea, and why Tuchel, of course, having him on the books, keeps playing him, because, of course, we see expensive players being bought and not being utilized. The reason he's utilized is because of that aggression you spoke of, his pesky nature towards defenders, and the fact with his pace he can break lines. He can break defensive lines with his running and his direct running and his pace. That's why he's in this team. That's why he has helped Chelsea to cause problems for the Real Madrid defenders. And we must remember that Real Madrid's centre-half pairing is not the strongest centre-half pairing, because Militao is out injured, and Nacho, who's looked a bit dodgy, is at the back deputizing.
Yeah, so a pretty neat pass there from Timo Werner to send Mason Mount on to get that Chelsea goal from just outside the box. So Chelsea, half of their job done, but they still have more work to do. Chelsea trailing Real Madrid 2-3, getting ready for the second half.